Welcome to the 2024 edition of Upfront REAL, brought to you by Ohio Cooperative Living Magazine and Ohio's electric cooperatives. I'm Karen Whitney, Director of Communications for OEC, and Pat is here. Pat O'Loughlin, our President and CEO. Happy spring to you.
Thanks, Karen.
All right, first day of spring. Let's hope that it got the memo, what the weather's supposed to be like outside. Doesn't feel like it yet. But let's talk about your Upfront column in the April issue this time. You titled your article Growing Together, and I'm curious what meaning that has for you in describing cooperatives in Ohio.
Yeah, thanks, Karen. Well, our workforce is always growing and changing, and as that happens, we're trying to improve our performance and our service. We need to go out and hire people that have the skills, the job skills, and the personal attributes that fit with our team and that fit with the needs that we have at our co-op. But nobody comes to our co-op ready to do all the things that we need them to do. And so we've had to make it part of our culture to really focus on workforce development, to fill in the skills that people need to be able to do their job, not only today, the job they have today, but also to be able to build and grow for the future and the job they might have tomorrow or next year.
Yeah, because they're very big cooperatives on promoting from within, which I think is wonderful, and all the training can attest to. And we've talked about this before. There are all kinds of different career paths within cooperatives that people may not think of. They think about, people that work at the plant or the line workers that are out there, but they're all valuable and necessary to operate. April is Line Worker Appreciation Month, and I'm just curious to you, why do you think the line worker stands out? Why do they get the month?
Yeah, well, the line workers are probably the most iconic symbol of what we do. They're the people that are there on the scene when you need them the most. And so it's become not only a symbol, but it's also a super important part of what we do. And we've devoted a lot of our workforce development to making sure our line workers have the best training possible. We've developed the Central Ohio Line Worker Training Program. We've been at that for almost 20 years now, and it's developed into one of the finest training programs in the country for line workers. So they're a key part of what we do. They're always important and they're kind of in the forefront. But to run a co-op, it takes every other kind of professional that it takes to run every other business. We have accountants, we have engineers, we have HR people, we have information technology or IT people. Oh heck, we even have communications professionals. We have everything from power plant workers to member service representatives, and all of them need to fill in some things to be able to service our members the best way possible. To keep our costs down, to keep our service levels high, we got to continue to always grow, improve, and look for better ways to do things. And that means developing our workforce along the way.
Yeah, so growing together, that's where that comes from. And it's interesting you mentioned the line workers and the danger in that. I can't help but think about the past week we've just had with the tornadoes in Ohio, and we're at the start of spring to be more. Line workers, people want their power back on quickly, and it's such dangerous conditions out there. Talk about that a little bit as we enter this storm season, about some of the dangers.
Yeah, well, we saw how devastating weather can be, and, we pray for the families that were really mostly affected by that. But to your question about, the urgency to get power back on and how that reflects on our work, as managers, that's really one of the easiest things we do, because what we know is it takes whatever time it takes to do the job safely. We can't rush safety. We have people that are well trained. We have people that know what needs to be done. In the heat of the moment, people right on the scene, the adrenaline's flowing. Everybody's anxious to help out their neighbors and get things back on as soon as possible. But what we know is every job can be done safely if it's planned and executed well, and that will take whatever time it takes. There is no rushing a well-done job. A safe job will be done well, and it'll be done in the amount of time it takes to do that. So it's really about training, planning, executing, and that's how long it'll take.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, because we see what a dangerous job it can be. We saw live lines down in some of those. So thanks to all those line workers who did get that power back up.
Yeah, thank you for everybody. It was a lot of work, we know, and it's part of the job. We all know that. Fortunately, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, people are on call and they got to get there. And then, like I said, it'll take what time it takes to do the job safely.
Okay, Pat, thank you for this edition of Upfront REAL. Thank you for watching, and have a safe spring.